Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the rigorous reader herself, Sandy Reevy.
I understand that. Hello, everybody.
It is episode 305, week of May 27th. Let's get right into it. In the transits we have today, Monday, Mercury sextile Saturn.
Tread with care.
And May 31st, Friday, Mercury conjunct Uranus.
Uranus is at 24 degrees.
Sandy's Astro-Interesting Day, June 2nd, Sunday, Jupiter trine Pluto retrograde.
Teach what you believe.
And Mercury sextile Neptune.
Keep a tracker.
Then in Talisman times, one special upcoming talisman and the talisman of the month. On the horizon, we have the June astrology forecast ready for you, as well as some updates on the retreats. And in our house, Sandy and I are going to be discussing the upcoming Venus Star Point talismans that will be available for you on the website shortly. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you.
Hello, rigorous reader.
I get this one. Being gone for a week, visiting my mom and doing all that really, compresses.
You're right. Totally.
A lot of work for me when I get back.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, we're recording this on a Friday. And I'm just made it to I have not quite met, but I see the finish line.
One more reading.
I see a finish line.
Yeah. Yeah. 17 whole
readings.
Yeah. In a week.
That's just the readings. That's
impressive. Right.
Podcast.
The talismans.
There were no talismans this week. Thank God.
Okay. Well, goodness.
Yeah. But activation, we had our activation for our constellation bracelet workshop.
Right.
Which was really cool. That was cool.
It was great. And maybe we can talk about that in our house a little bit. So I want to go direct to all of you listeners. Thank you so much for sending in your comments and your emails and your 5-star reviews. They really are our soul food. It is what keeps this podcast going. So thank you. This message is from Sabine. She says, Sandy's intention beads are instrumental in the true meaning of the word to help me specify and solidify my long-term vision and life's purpose. I think that's really wonderful.
I know her, right?
I know her.
And man, she keeps taking another step up the ladder every time we chat.
Yeah.
So, we think we're on our life purpose, and we are, even when we were born, right? And we have to, we get opportunities throughout our lives or inklings of in my life, how many times it has shifted in my years, right?
And sometimes we feel so connected and on that, but sometimes we can feel really disconnected to it. So to help specify what your life's purpose and then solidify, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Sabina.
So let's move into the transits. So we start off the day today, May 27th, Monday, with Mercury sextile Saturn.
Yeah, this is Memorial Day, and it's like tread with care. Take your time, easy does it. Believe it or not, it's okay to take it slow. Again, my new found musician, Bobby Alou, he's coming, he's traveling right now with Xavier Rudd.
Right.
And it's, it's kind of this, he's the spiritual genre that we like so much.
Yeah.
And he sings a song called Take It Slow. And so I listened to this when I was writing this, and he says, so please proceed and we'll be on our way. We mean no harm or bring anything bad. It's okay to take it slow.
It's okay.
Really like that, right?
I feel like that's got to be more of people's mantras these days, because I feel like the modern world is just like the faster the better.
Yeah,
right?
It's like, so please proceed and we'll be on our way. We mean no harm or bring anything bad.
Yeah.
We're just going to go over here and coast over here and we're going to be on our way. It's like we're moving.
Right. We're progressing.
But we're going
right.
to just like, hey, believe it or not, it's okay to take it slow.
Mm-hmm.
So really like his vibe here for this Memorial Day, Monday.
And so with the Mercury sextile Saturn, Saturn is like the brake, the brake pedal. Mm-hmm. So that is maybe the one that's limiting and slowing things down a little bit.
Well, Mercury also is in Taurus, so that's the Earth. Right? So Mercury is more sure-footed, more grounded in the sign. Mercury likes to move fast. He's always in his mind. Mm-hmm. But here he's more, ground-oriented, sure-footed, more take it slow.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then to meet up in a sextile to Saturn saying, oh, I'm going to take this opportunity to purposefully take my time and go slow. Mm-hmm. Right? I like it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you called that tread with care.
Tread with care.
And take it slow.
Yeah. Well, you can't tread. You can't, when you tread, right?
You're kind of going slow.
Yeah, you're kind of going slow. Right.
But you could,
it's not like I zip around with care.
Right.
That might be when Mercury gets to Gemini, right? But he won't be making a sextile to Saturn. He will be making a square when that happens. Right. And so the square will be, he tripped over a log because he was moving too fast and didn't see it. And now he's face planted. Mm-hmm. Might have broken a bone.
Yeah.
We'll wait for that day. That's not too far in the future.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that.
So because you brought up the take it slow and, slow things down, when I was in my long journey of like personal development and I was going to all of these classes and really learning about all of this, there was a challenge one week where we had to take everything incredibly slow.
Really?
Yeah. And what it did is time kind of expanded in doing that. Your awareness expands. Like, for instance, where I would be, say, brushing my teeth and getting ready for bed, I would be like, brush as fast as I possibly could just to get this task done. Then hurry up, splash some water on my face, get the soap, and then just aggressively. Because when I started slowing things down, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like doing soft little cute circles as if I'm like a facialist trying to like, it's almost like I was getting a facial. So the awareness and the sensations and all of that really comes into play when you take things slow. Because then you actually feel the step in the ground beneath you. You actually feel the way that the bristles on the brush, are rubbing against your gums and cleaning things around you instead of like whoosh, 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 like hurting, and creating pain.
And we have been on such a fast pace, and it's not just you and I, it's everybody's on a fast pace.
Yeah.
Like we're almost to, we're already here. We're about to talk about June, right? We're about to talk about the 1st of June.
Seriously.
And that means, by the end of June, we have finished one half of the year.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. Alarming. So yes, reminder, take it slow and really enjoy.
Listen to Bobby Alou. His last name is spelled A-L-U.
Okay, that's easy.
Or if you're in Chicago, meet me at the House of Blues.
Right.
He and Xavier Rudd, who we saw in Bali, on an incredible
it was
con.
Such a great show.
We saw him 2 nights in a row.
We did.
Once in Ubud. Yeah. And then once in Uluwatu.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, that's a true statement.
So let's move on to the next transit, which we're fast forwarding, maybe treading a little faster here.
Yeah.
May 31st, Friday, Mercury conjunct Uranus.
So this is at 24 degrees. Now they're conjunct because they're both in the Taurus that we were just talking about. And it's the first time for Uranus to be at the 24 degrees, right? He got up to 23 last year, right about April, May period last year. And then he retrograded back from 23 to 22 to 21, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't get to 24. But hello, here he is. And what is the first aspect is the Mercury is coming along And Mercury and Uranus work really well together.
Yeah.
They really do. They can come up with inventive conversations. It's great for networking. It's seeing things kind of like the Hanged Man in a tarot deck, where it's like you're seeing different perspectives of things. So on this day, and this is a Friday, see, like at a dinner party, get up and change your seats like we do when we have my friend over. Because it really will have you look at a different, like when we look at our faces, right? Like when you see one side of your face, I was doing this the other night. I'm like, oh my God, my right side of my face looks so much older than my left side. I'm saying this out loud too. But I was doing that whole like perspective thing and like, oh my gosh, so look at this.
Do you sleep on that side?
No, I pretty much sleep on my back. But like, do you see the difference?
A little.
Oh,
yes, I see the difference. I see the difference.
No, you're not. You're supposed to say no. You don't.
I know.
Because maybe I'm imagining it.
No, I mean, I don't.
Oh,
you're pointing it out, and now
Are you trying to be
I can't win.
daughter?
I'm just gonna. Can we move on to the next transit?
No, I got to talk about this.
Okay.
So Mercury with Uranus, yes, it can be an innovative style of thinking, but can also be restless sleep, right? It could be, restless dreams, or you're having very active dreams, because Uranus is is like the frequency booster.
Right.
And the REM. Do you know what REM stands for, Alex?
Rapid eye movement.
Damn, I thought you would say that. What's the REM? It used to be a rock and roll band.
Oh I don't know that one.
No, REM. I never really liked them.
Let's see. I don't.
Oh, come on.
I think we're spending too much time on this. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, they were a band. It's a rock band. And what's the REM band meaning? It means rapid eye movement.
No, it doesn't.
Swear to God.
No, it doesn't.
The American alternative rock band REM is named after rapid eye movement.
Really? So I knew the answer this whole time.
So, okay, you get a pass because from the last thing that you just said. Swear to God, it's the dream stage of sleep. However, the band has said that they choose the name at random from a dictionary, not as a reference to REM sleep. Other names that they considered included Twisted Kites and Cans of Piss. All right, excuse me, everyone, but I'm just reading this out loud. So, you know what?
Okay.
REM, here, I got more. Formed in 1980 in Athens, Georgia, a university town. They debuted their extended play recording. Anyway, how funny is that?
Yeah, that's funny. Well,
yeah.
I mean, okay, so
right.
I
didn't. Again, it was just the REM band. I didn't know what it stood for, but here it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's much better than the alternate.
But if you think about Twisted Kites, right, it kind of makes something flying and then getting, this going that way and this going that way, right?
Right, but they were kind of not even going for the meaning. They just wanted the name.
But this is also, maybe you're talking in your sleep.
Okay.
I want to also mention that May 15th birthdays, so May 15th babies, anybody born May 15th, has the sun at 24 degrees of Taurus.
Yeah.
So this change is here, you babies, you grown adults that were born on May 15th. The change is here. Are you ready to hook this up? Best be. Because Uranus is on your sun, there is going to be change. Uranus is called the awakener. So here at this moment on Friday the 31st, you're going to get Mercury conjunct Uranus, conjunct your natal sun.
Okay.
This is massive. So if you want to change anything in your thinking and in your identity or make a big announcement, this is a big day to do that.
Wonderful.
May 31.
And also May 31, happy birthday to the love of my life.
Oh, that's
right.
right.
Shout out.
Oh, okay. So, I know his birthday's not May 15th, but
right. May
his
31st.
Yeah, it's May 31st, and he'll get this happening. It won't be on the sun.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's a Gemini.
Yep. Happy birthday to my favorite Gemini in the world. Okay, so let's move on.
Your dad's a Gemini too.
Yes.
Okay.
You've
got check marks coming, then you got some negatives.
I'm human. What can I say? All right. Let's move on to June 2nd, Sunday, the end of the week. We have 2 transits here, and this is your Astro-Interesting day. We start off with Jupiter trine Pluto retrograde.
And that's why. Because Jupiter and Pluto don't come together, but infrequently. For Jupiter to go around the chart and meet up with Pluto only happens twice in a 12-year cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So this is only going to hit one time because Jupiter does not retrograde over this area of the sky. So Jupiter has moved into Gemini now, making an exact trine to Pluto retrograde at 1 degree of this air sign.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's teach or preach because it's Pluto. Preach, right?
Yep.
Oftentimes you want to stand on the pulpit and try to get people to believe in something that you believe in. So that teach versus preach is a very fine line, right? Because if you're teaching and then you're saying something, but if you say it with a hat, with a big robe on and arms up and maybe a choir in the background, right?
You're now preaching.
You're now preaching, right? So ideas can succeed here. Let them be wise decisions, wise ideas, because this is Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Jupiter, who is Zeus, meeting up with Pluto, Hades, his brother. And they're trying to have a discussion of what is next. And, they didn't get along for a while until one took Zeus took the kingdom, the upper world, and gave Hades the underworld, which he liked better anyway, right? He preferred. That's the word I was looking for. So let them be wise decisions that you're making or ideas that can succeed. But what do you believe, right? What do you believe?
Right.
And it's a Sunday, so maybe you go to church on this day.
Yeah. So the second transit of this Sunday is Mercury sextile Neptune.
So here, and this is at 29 degrees because I know that Neptune is at the 29 degree area of Pisces because it's sitting on my sun, which I get sometimes confused, twisted. But Mercury is now at the 29 degree mark of Taurus. And this means keep a tracker. Keep a tracker of your things. Like, do you have to put, make sure your phone is in a location where you'll remember. And if you don't, find my phone tracker.
Right. Yeah.
Right. It's a very creative, imaginative communication style. Right. So it's make sure you have extra time to dream and discuss. It's like you want to tell people more about what's going on in the dreamland or in the I wish land or my fairy tale land,
So imagination.
Yeah, it's great for imagination. It's great for writing. It's great for writing. There you go.
Yeah, wonderful. So let's move into talisman times where we have one special upcoming talisman to cultivate meaningful relationships.
I attract kindred spirits who appreciate my authenticity and celebrate my individuality. Because the moon is in Aquarius here, and moon in Aquarius says, I'm an individual. I love humankind, but I don't have to hang with all the same groups. I like my individuality. I like my authenticity. And that moon is making a really nice trine to Venus in Gemini and in the 7th house. 7th house is intimate relationships or one-on-one friendships or business partners. And so I just attract, and we got Sagittarius rising. So Jupiter's also over there in the 7th house with Venus in Gemini. So yeah, to attract kindred spirits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, and the Venus part is the out appreciation.
Yes.
Right, the gratitude, that piece. So
and
yeah,
so,
this is a nice
and
one.
so since this is an upcoming talisman, it is on pre-sale on the website. And if you do get a pre-sale, remember that you can help guide the colors choice and the style choice. So let's move over to announcing the new talisman of the month, which is to express my thoughts and ideas with clarity.
This I made not too long ago, and I really wanted to have the Gemini essence available to everyone because, all these planets, the sun, Venus, Jupiter, the big guy, Jupiter moved into Gemini, which he'll be there for a year, right? A little over a year, actually. And so it's all about Gemini energy, right?
Yay.
And so I really like to express my thoughts and ideas with clarity, right? So to use this while this is going on, you can inspire others to have this ability. I am blessed and gifted with a keen intellect and versatile communication skills. My curiosity guides me to diverse perspectives.
That is so Gemini.
Yeah.
Looking at things from so many different perspectives and being able to figure out which one to focus on and what information is priority versus unnecessary.
And, I know that you've got a favorite Gemini, and that placement is to have somebody listen, right? Often Geminis just need to get it out of their mind.
Right.
They need to dump it somewhere. So whether you're the wall for the spaghetti to get thrown at, but just to be a soundboard.
Right.
Yeah. Because you have to have a lot of patience for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true. Okay, so that is all for our talisman times. Let's move on to the horizon, where we have our June astrology forecast coming up, and that is available on Patreon. If you're not a part of our Patreon community, I invite you to join in, because with the Chatting with the Stars Patreon community, you can get the astrology forecasts, the cheat sheets. You can ask questions to Sandy and Susan, two very knowledgeable astrologers that can give you so much information. And it's a wonderful community. So we would love to have you there. Also, Sandy is heading off this week to head over to the ACEP event in Phoenix, Arizona. That is the Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology.
Right.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm excited for you.
Brain spotting things. I'll be a vendor there. Nice. I've never done this show before, but they've been asking me for years, and it just never worked out. And so I was like, yeah, let me try it. I like their format, and they have about 400 people coming in from around the world. Great speakers to give how the brain works and the psychological advice of working with clients. So super excited to get there.
Yeah. So much information ahead.
It's a Gemini season.
Yeah. So September 22nd through the 29th, if you're not doing anything.
And you're in Phoenix. Or you're not.
No, September 22nd to 29th.
Gosh, September. I'm thinking.
If you're not doing anything and you don't have any plans, we would love to see you in Greece with us on an island in the middle of the Aegean Sea.
I know.
In this 5-star luxury, absolutely breathtaking views, like mouth-watering food, home cozy feeling of family,
right?
With the staff.
They all live there.
Right? And it really, and then learning more about your astrological chart, about who you are, and
it's a Venus star point,
your talents, the Venus star point, your connection with others.
And when things open up and blossom for you, there's 5 stars here, right? Or 5 points to the star, and they're not all open at the same time.
So I think that like what you're going to be learning and the way that you're going to be learning it is incredible. We'll have some movement throughout the days with yoga on the rooftop.
It was so funny because you went last year, right? You taught the yoga, and you get to your yoga class in
Costa Rica.
In Costa Rica, right? And these are, I mean, students. That are getting the certification, but also some of the trainers, the teachers, right, are well-established yoga gurus, right?
Instructors,
And you not being an instructor, and I'm just reminded of when you were kind of, and you're not a boastful human being, but when you said, oh yeah, I just got back from Agialis in Amorgos, and some of them turned their head and said, you taught there? Like, it's my dream. Right? Remember that? You told me? I was like, oh my gosh.
Even before I was certified as a yoga instructor, we did a lot of, like floor work where we were stretching but when we're there in Greece, right?
Well, so here's the rest of my story.
Okay, go ahead.
Is that you weren't going to go to Greece this year. Right? It was like, I don't know. I don't think I can make it, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden you came to me one day and go, I want to go back. Can I go back?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I really had no doubt that I wanted to go back. It was just, okay, is this going to make it, can I make it work? And so, yes, I can make it work. And so I'm really excited because going back there is kind of like going back home. And that's also how I feel about Bali sometimes is like, oh man, like once you go back, you're just like so happy to see these familiar faces and experience these different cultures. And so anyway, that's just a little bit of my excitement for the Greece retreat. So we only have 2 spots left since we got 1 extra room. We have 2 spots left. So you and a friend do something crazy enough to totally elevate your world and your experience and join us in Amorgos for the Greece retreat.
And meet new people that have the same like minds. And there, we've got people from Greece, Germany, Chile, Brazil, Hawaii, and then of course the States. And some of these women know each other. Some don't know each other. But the ones that know each other, where they met.
Yeah.
On our other retreats.
Right.
And so it's kind of like, oh yeah, I just talked to so-and-so the other day. Like, well, she lives in Germany. It's like, yeah, we still talk. And I'm like, okay, well, she's going to, I know she's going to Greece too. In fact, that's why we're all going, right? So it talk about that familiar, watching people and being with somebody for that long, for a week, and you have nothing else to do but show up, right?
Right.
And you just get...
And we've got it all taken care of, like all the tours, the plans, the conversation prompts, and then really like once the group gets comfortable and starts appreciating their unique selves, right? Like, because sometimes if someone's new, they're like, I don't know who I need to be in this group. But once you just realize like, oh, this is me. And like, I'm just like enjoying myself. Oh my gosh. The group lights up even more.
I saw some of the pictures that you put up on
the email.
Oh my gosh. The one with you and Anna laughing so
You remember
hard?
That game?
Yes.
That
we
was
played
so
a game
much
outside, watching the sunset.
I would do that like all over again in at the drop of a hat. We laughed so hard. I was crying, and like just those moments, they remain with you all the time. So, do we need like things all the time? No, we don't. But like memories totally get to stay with us. So anyway,
many, I could probably, 5 people are coming back again,
right?
That they were there last year,
right?
And they're coming back again,
and then also me
and me.
Yeah. So let's move into a little quick chat about the Egypt retreat, which is following that September one in Greece. That the Egypt retreat is October 9th through the 19th. I mean, this is going to be a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah, because with me,
Yeah.
because I'm going to do this one time. There's other places I want to go, and you're not letting me tell them where
Not yet.
I'm signing a contract today, folks.
Not yet.
But the Egypt retreat, we're doing this with my friend and high priestess, Zephi Devi, who goes twice a year and brings her sacred wisdom, initiations, if anybody wants to do that at some of these temples. And we're going with Mahmoud, who is a Egyptian
tour guide.
And this is what he does for a living. And so he's got us the boat. We're going to be on up the Nile for, I forget, 3 or 4 nights. We've got a night in the desert. We're sleeping in the desert. He's got the tents will be put up for us as individual tents in a big lake.
You're going to need to take so many pictures. So many pictures.
To be there with the stars and the sand. Talk about nature. Talk about an unlived moment.
Oh, yeah. So unique.
That one.
Yeah.
Right.
So we would love to have you.
Yeah. And I've got space.
Yeah.
I've got space. I think I have about 3 more spaces there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, if you are interested in joining for any of the retreats, you can always receive a free 15-minute call with Sandy, ask whatever questions you need, get the imperative information that you need to grab before you make this decision. That link is in the description, show notes, all the links here you're going to find there. Let's move into our house for wrapping up this episode, because I want to talk about the Venus Star Point Talismans. We talk a little bit about the Venus Star Point because you're going to be hosting the retreat all around the Venus Star Points in Greece.
Yeah.
But there is a Venus Star Point phenomenon happening very shortly this week, right?
It's June.
Oh, next week.
Yeah.
Next week.
It's when the sun and Venus kiss. That's what Ariel Gutman, the discoverer or the writer of the book, who was doing this retreat with us.
Yeah.
This happens on June 4th. When we have the actual Kazimi, it's when Venus goes into the heart of the sun.
Yeah.
And she births. She meets up with the sun in this kiss, if you will, this consorting with the king. And she met up last August at 20 degrees of Leo. Mm-hmm. And so she birthed something there, but then was inseminated, let's say, with a new thought, Leonian style. And now here in June, she births it, what's been inseminating and, gestationing for the last 9.5 months. And then she births this Leo type leadership role that we've all been,
moving
ingesting
into. Right.
and germinating, if you will. And then that gets birthed. And immediately into the Gemini.
Right. So now the seed is planted.
A new seed is planted on this day. And that has to do with Gemini, Venus and the sun in Gemini. Mm-hmm. And I'm making some earrings. We usually do a big production. Right. But I am just getting home from the ACEP and I don't have enough time to put a big package together for everyone that I normally do. Last year, I had Ariel Gutman come in and do a special. And this time she's going to go on the retreat with us. Right. So I'm teaching the Venus Star Point in Greece, that Amorgos that we were just talking about.
But these Venus Star Point talismans are going to be available on our website
soon, right?
You can pre-order them. You can order them with the pre-sale.
Because they're not up yet. But you're putting them up before this goes live.
Yes, I am.
And I'm either doing you can either choose a pair of earrings. And of course, the pattern on there is the roses, which is the representation of Venus Star Point. And you can pick a charm as well, either one. But the intention here is to be guided by infinite curiosity. My gift from Venus infuses me with graceful expression, versatile style, and a beauty in all interactions. That is so Venus in Gemini, that gets to be inseminated and births next in 9 months, in about March. I think it's like March 25th of next year. So who doesn't want some of this infinite curiosity?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I will include the link in the description, show notes for you there. And we also, at the top of the episode, mentioned about the closing ceremony for the CBW, which is the Constellation Bracelet Workshop. And it was really wonderful to wrap that up, because with the Constellation Bracelet Workshop, and we've talked about it here on the episode many, many times before, it is 12 meetings, and those meetings are completely astrologically timed. and so it was kind of nice to retrace all of those steps with the ladies, and you invited me to come in and do a live meditation for everyone. And so it was a really cool, like, active meditation where we retraced all those steps. Everyone was really able to engage with the process that they personally wrote for themselves and they intended for themselves. And just to go back there, it was really wonderful to see everyone's faces and the way that they spoke the words that they had written before. It was special.
Yeah, because it was an activation. So it was really connecting, because they're now holding their finished bracelet.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I always love that. It always takes on a magical kind of road, because you and I are good at making some things, creating some events,
right,
and then seeing how it flows for everybody can have their own. There's no wrong, and that's what I love about what we do. Nobody's ever wrong.
Right. So yeah, I will have that in the show notes for you all if you wanted to join in for that Venus star point. Also, the next Constellation Bracelet Workshop will be later this year, most likely in the winter solstice.
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and remember, get in those reviews, those emails, that feedback. We want to answer your questions here. We want to share your feedback here at the top of the episode. So thank you, everybody.
Take it slow.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one, you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you. The story of you, the story of you.